The time has finally arrived. Welcome to the first Sports Beat episode of the fall semester. I'm your host, Dylan Brett, and we have a can't-miss show for you tonight. We begin in the NFL discussing all of the excitement from the young season. From the gridiron to the diamond, we bring you an MLB update as their season comes to a close. Then our very own Olivia Hillstead sits down with the legendary coach of Hofstra men's soccer, Richard Nuttall, for a live in-studio interview. Following that, it's time to buy and sell storylines around the NFL. Moving to Hofstra Sports, we bring you our Pride Weekly update, followed by the Pride Top 5. Then in the home stretch, we take a look inside the Hofstra volleyball team and close out with our Athlete of the Month. Don't go anywhere, folks, because Sports Beat starts right now. The beginning of the NFL season has been action-packed, and here to break it down with me, my good friends Luca, Dallasta, and Piper Cherry. Guys, it has been a season full of surprises through 2 weeks so far. What surprise has stuck out to you guys the most this season?
I'd say the biggest surprise to me is that Daniel Jones is actually good. You know, he's had no turnovers. He's completed 71.4% of his passes for 588 yards, 5 total touchdowns. The team hasn't had to punt in 2 games. I don't think anyone was expecting this from him or the team, so good for him. He's my surprise.
Oh yeah, you best bet. I was not expecting to say Daniel Jones was one of the best passers in football through 2 weeks. You know who else has been up there? Russell Wilson of the New York Giants. Yes, he had a stinky week 1, but that last week against the Cowboys, he really turned the clocks back to that 2010s era where he dominated the football league, and I think that them two at the top really, you just could not have expected it. That's my surprise.
1A and 1B so far, and who knows, with a lot of quarterback injuries around the league, those guys could be climbing up the QB ladder. Now to the bigger picture. I don't know about you, but the Kansas City Chiefs, they're feeling 0-2. They look vulnerable, they're injured, they've got suspensions. Are they still the team to beat in the AFC?
I would say they're definitely not the same team that they were before. Their offense is weak with suspensions and injuries, keeping good guys out, and Mahomes is always scrambling. You know, he's looking really good, but he just doesn't have a team to back him up. It's hard to carry a team on your own. And Kelsey is showing his age. They're just not that fiery powerhouse team that they once were.
Oh, not at all. No way are the Chiefs the team to beat in the AFC because you have the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills, and why not toss in the Los Angeles Chargers? You mentioned the Chiefs. They don't have a run game. Mahomes has been the leading rusher through 2 weeks. Rashee Rice is out through 6 weeks. Xavier Worthy's on the injury report as well. This team is not the same Chiefs team that has been winning left and right in years past.
You know, I think that defense will keep them in games, but when Patrick Mahomes is your leading rusher through 2 weeks, probably not an encouraging sign for your offense. Now let's go to the Big Apple. The Giants are 0-2, and there's been a lot of controversy about the quarterback position in the offseason. When do you think Jackson Dart gets his time to shine if this season continues to spiral out of control?
Well, I don't think they're going to be a playoff team, so I don't think there's any harm in giving him the chance to play this season. I personally think the best way to develop a player is to let them play. How are they supposed to get used to in-game situations if they're not in-game? But I also think that sitting back and learning and watching the game can also be helpful. We saw that with Aaron Rodgers. We saw that with Jordan Love. But give him some time to sit, and maybe week 9, week 10, I could see them letting him play.
There's one big problem there. It's Jackson Dart learning from Russell Wilson. Yes, he had a good week 2, but Russell Wilson is not the same Russell Wilson we all know from the years past in the 2010s. This is not a good situation for Dart to sit back and learn. They got to get him in the game early. However, I think that the Giants sit through 1 week of Eagles play, then they have a week between against the Broncos. By the time they play the Eagles the second time around, I think Jackson Dart should be their starting quarterback.
Yeah, they've got a week game against the Saints in between as well. That could be the window. So let's talk youngsters now. Dart obviously hasn't gotten on the field yet, but there have been some dynamic rookies across the NFL. Who's impressed you guys?
I would have to say Jahad Campbell, Eagles linebacker. I wanted to pick a defensive guy because I feel like they don't really get the credit that they deserve. He had a delayed start to the season with a shoulder surgery in March, so he wasn't really expected to play, which is why he fell in the draft. But he's had 10 total tackles so far, 5 solos. He's got a forced fumble. He's great in the passing coverage. You know, he's really impressed me.
You know who's impressed me? Dylan, put that left arm up. It's got to be Shedeur Sanders. How has this guy been relevant in the NFL? A third-string quarterback on a team, not any team, the Cleveland Browns, one of the worst teams in the league. He was a fifth-round draft pick. He said he didn't want to play behind Lamar. Now he's the third string behind Joe Flacco. And then Dylan Gabriel. This guy has no reason to be relevant other than his last name is Sanders. He's impressed me to stay relevant.
All right, guys, really quick. Which non-playoff team from last year do you see making a push this season?
I've got to say the surprise team of the year so far, I mentioned their quarterback earlier, the Colts. You know, they're off to a great start behind Daniel Jones. They're in a weak division. I think they could be division winners, not just wild card.
Oh, yeah, and especially with the Texans not looking too hot. My team that has surprised and has a chance to go deep has got to be the Atlanta Falcons. Bijan's incredible. London's going to come back. Their defense is strong.
Well, thank you to Luca and Piper. You'll hear from them later. And folks, as the NFL season gets underway, the MLB season is coming to an end. Here with the latest from the Diamond is Bill D'Ambrosio.
As summer fades into fall, that means postseason baseball is around the corner, and there is plenty of action as we come into the home stretch of the season. The Phillies, Brewers, and Cubs are the only teams to punch their ticket into the playoffs, with the Phils doing so without Zach Wheeler and Trey Turner. The Fightin' Phils are just 1.5 games back of the Brew Crew for the top seed in the National League, which would award them home field advantage throughout the playoffs. The NL wildcard race is even closer. The Mets are just 2 games up on the Diamondbacks for the 6th seed. The Reds, Giants, and D-backs still have realistic shots of snagging that final wildcard spot, with all 4 teams being within 2.5 games of each other, setting up another dramatic end of the year. Now in the American League, 4 games separate the Blue Jays from the Tigers for the top spot in the AL, as Toronto continues their unexpected run with 4 everyday players batting .290 or higher. The Mariners and Astros continue to trade the AL West crown, with Seattle ahead of Houston by half of a game. Now to the Bronx. Aaron Judge has the 4th most home runs in Yankees history with 363. The Yanks have a 1.5 game lead for the first wildcard spot over the Astros, and both of these teams have better home records, which makes getting that 4th seed all the more vital. And finally, the Red Sox hold the final playoff spot in the AL, 2.5 games ahead of Cleveland and 3.5 games up on Texas with 11 remaining. Buckle up, baseball fans. We're heading for a wild finish. With your MLB update, I'm Bill D'Ambrosio.
Giuseppe Oliveri, proud Kyle Pitts fantasy.
Ethan Poole, allergic to watermelon.
Lindsey Park.
Let it all work out. Omar Ardon, Hofstra, University.
Andrew Monty, depressed sports fan.
Welcome back to Sports Beat. I'm Olivia Hillstead, and joining me is head coach of the men's soccer team, Richard Nuttall. And his squad have won the CAA now 4 consecutive seasons. Let's take a look at the history through the years. First of all, thank you for joining us, Coach.
My pleasure, Olivia.
So last night, the Pride took on Vermont, the reigning national champions, and a team that you have a lot of history with.
Yeah.
What did you think of the performance?
Look, the score looks quite close, but the brutal reality, we got dominated yesterday in many aspects. There's a factor called the XG, which they were way ahead in, expected goals. And I basically was disappointed with our effort, not actual effort, but overall what we did and how we played yesterday. It was tough. They're strong, they're fast, they're athletic, they're powerful. And it was a tough game, but, I'm really proud how we stuck with the game. We were under the cosh a lot. And then the last, with about 12 minutes to go, we could have gone ahead 2-1, we didn't. And then they came up and they scored the winner. But, disappointing, but, a couple of thoughts here is, we've got 7.5, 8 new starters from last year, so we're a work in progress. In terms of, it was our 4th game in 10 days, and that's a normal frequency, but then you're playing against a very good team like Vermont. And I really firmly believe Vermont will be in the top 4 or 5 in the country at the end of the year, and they'll be a challenger for the national title again. I also firmly believe we will be better as the season goes on, as we get used to one another. So on the surface, great, half a great result. You also want to win, and we expect to win every game. And then, but in reality, it was a tough night for Hofstra men's soccer.
Mm-hmm. One guy who didn't get on the stat sheet last night but has been a huge contributor, Laurie Goddard, preseason player of the year. What is it about him that's so special? First
of all, lovely man, a great soul, and he cares about everybody. And you know, we made him captain this year, and you know, we sometimes wanted to be a bit tougher and rougher on the other players, but he's just a great human being, and he's very, very talented. He in the last year or so, he's really worked on his athleticism and his power in his body. He's been in the weight room, he's worked hard, so everything he gets he deserves, and he's becoming one of the, we think he's in the top few forwards in the country. He will say himself, last night he didn't have the greatest game, but I'm sure they honed in on him with their you know, style and what they wanted to do to stop him playing. So, but what a young man. I'm incredibly proud of him.
Well, looking ahead, there's still lots of time in the season, but what do you want your legacy to be as you leave this program?
What do I want my legacy to be? I think there's a couple of things. I want people to remember the friendships on campus, that, you know, from all over the campus, from Lefty and the guys who was a custodian all the way up to the president. People have treated me for the last 37 years in an incredible manner, and I'm proud of that. I think the other legacy is, look, I'm so, even more than the wins and the championships, I'm proud of what our players continue to do after Hofstra life, how they are, the families, the business they do. They're just wonderful, you know, people in society, and we call ourselves human engineers as soccer coaches, and I think we do a pretty good job. We're not right all the time, but we do a good job at producing human beings.
Got it. Well, what would your advice be to Stephen Roach, you know, the next head coach?
Go with what you think and what you do, be true to yourself, and he's got an incredible amount of soccer knowledge, as Stephen, and he's brilliant with a video, and Sean, the assistant's brilliant with a video, and he's just got to go with who he is, and you know, he's going to be a little bit different to me, but hopefully I've imparted some stuff that he can, you know, take on board, and he can throw out the stuff he doesn't want to, and he'll be wonderful. He's a brilliant choice for the next Hofstra head coach.
Well, thank you so much, Coach, for joining us, and good luck on the rest of your season. Don't go anywhere. SportsBeat will be back after these short messages.
Hello, my name is Caitlin Takes. I'm currently one of the 2 producers for the Heat Network's game show Spin the Wheel. Spin the Wheel is a 30-minute variety comedy game show. The way that the game works is that you spin the wheel, play a game, and then if you win, you move on to our final round, where you'll hopefully be winning a prize. We are an open writers' room every Monday night from 7 to 9 this semester. Our show will be November 10th, Monday night at 8:30 p.m. See you then.
Welcome back to Sports Beat, folks. I am once again joined by Luca, Dallasta, and Piper Cherry, and it's time to buy and sell our favorite hot topics around the NFL. First question, guys. Josh Allen has looked like the best quarterback in the world through 2 weeks. Is he going to win his 2nd straight MVP?
I'd say buy. I'd sign that check right now. You know, he looked great in his first 2 starts. He led an amazing comeback against the Ravens, overcame a broken nose to win the game. And he doesn't have nearly the weapons, I think, that Lamar Jackson has in terms of receivers and tight ends. So he's doing a lot of it on his own. So that's why I think he could do it again. But I wouldn't write out Jackson.
You better not write off Jackson, because he's the best quarterback in the world, and he's the guy who's going to win the MVP once again, the 3rd time in his career. I mean, come on. The guy has been off the planet through last year and to start this season. That loss against the Bills was not at all on Lamar Jackson. He played a near perfect game. Through 2 games, he has 6 touchdowns through the air, no interceptions. He even has a touchdown on the ground, the best passer rating in football. Give me Lamar Jackson to win an MVP, and sell on Josh Allen winning a 2nd.
Let's keep it with the quarterback position. The last 2 years, they've kind of made me a Baker believer, so to speak. Is Baker Mayfield the top 10 quarterback in football right now?
I say buy, because statistically, yes, he is. But there's also something about him. He just tends to make something out of nothing all the time. I think that Cleveland never should have let him go. Look at where they are now and look at where he is.
Oh, yeah. Baker Mayfield, buy, and buy again, top 10 quarterback in the league. The guy was top 3 in completion percentage among quarterbacks with over 100 attempts last season. He was 3rd in passing yards, 2nd in passing touchdowns. He won his division by 2 games. He's in the first place with his division this year. And keep in mind, he's without Chris Godwin, one of the top receivers on his team. Baker Mayfield's a top 10 quarterback, and it's because he consistently wins. And you know what? He carries a swagger with him that not many quarterbacks carry.
And last one here. Are the Packers now the team to beat in the NFL with that ferocious defense?
Absolutely. I'd say buy. Every part of the team is just clicking. They've got Parsons, which is making them play with a lot more confidence. You know, they gave them the jolt. He gave them the jolt that they needed. So I'd say buy. Absolutely.
Well, thank you once again to Luca and Piper. Swinging it from the pros to the pride, Aidan Pagan has our Pride Weekly Update.
What's going on, Sports Beat fans? I'm Aidan Pagan. Fall sports are up and running. Starting with men's soccer, Laurie Goddard leads the team with 6 goals, but our reigning conference champions fell to the reigning NCAA champion Vermont Catamounts yesterday 2-1. Samuel Francoux netted his first goal of the season, but Hofstra surrendered 2 straight. The Pride are back in action this Saturday at 7 as they welcome the Monmouth Hawks to Captain's Field. You can catch all the action on Flow College. Women's soccer made history on Sunday, setting a school record 4 consecutive ties. They open conference play against Elon tomorrow at Captain's Field, looking for their first win since August 22nd. Match time is at 7 on Flow College. Volleyball advanced to 7-0 with a 4-set victory over Temple on Sunday. This is the program's best open to a season since 2012's 8-0 start. The Pride are back on the court this Friday and Saturday at the MAC, welcoming their first conference opponent of the year, the UNCW Seahawks. The matches will be streamed on Hofstra's alternative web channel at 5 on Thursday and 3 on Saturday. Field hockey had a thrilling 2-1 overtime win over Villanova on Sunday, propelling the Pride to a perfect 3-0 record at home. Teresa Karoff scored the game winner with her team, leading 4th goal. The ladies are back at Cindy Lewis Stadium on Sunday, looking to extend their undefeated home streak against UC Davis at 12, and you can tune in on Flow College for more. For more information on live streams, schedules, and more, visit gohofstra.com.
All right, folks, we're not going to tease you any longer. I have been sitting up at night all summer long waiting for a brand new Pride Top 5 to ring in the new school year. Let's roll the tape and look at the best of the best in Hofstra athletics. I can't wait to jump into the tape. We're starting at number 5, men's soccer, up against Northeastern CAA opener. That is a beautiful ball in from the corner, and Laurie Goddard slots that one home. A conference leading 6 goals for him so far this year. Preseason player of the year for a reason. A beautiful finish with the right foot. Let's watch it one more time. Ball comes in from the right corner of the box, and the team captain, calm, cool, and collected as he puts that one over the keeper. The Pride win this one 3-1. And they are 2-0 in conference play so far. Let's keep it with this same team. Season opener against Bucknell. Daniel Burko with the beautiful sprawling header past the keeper to make it 1-0 in favor of the Pride. Alexi Armis with the ball in. And hey, if it wasn't for our good buddy Goddard, this guy would be leading the CAA in goals with 4 on the season. Hofstra up in that game 1-0. Now let's look at the ladies. Big game against St. Joseph's in the non-conference. This ball comes in from just in front of the bench, and it's Olivia Pierce who just sneaks behind the defense and slots that one home. Second half, Pride down 1-0 at this point, but trust me, folks, we've got a lot to come from this game. Gabriella Marte with the beautiful ball in, and the finish is there as well. 1-1, but like I said, we're not done between the Pride and the Hawks just yet. Number 2 now in the Pride Top 5. Let's talk some field hockey, because this team is off to a 4-2 start, their best since 2014. A big reason why, right there. Lucy Hollister with the sprawling save in the shootout to keep the Pride alive against Ryder. Coming to us all the way from New Zealand, she is just a freshman, and she's got 2 Rookie of the Week honors in this conference. Something tells me if she keeps making saves like that, she's going to rack up a whole lot more. Here we go, number 1. We said we weren't done with this game. 8 seconds left to beat the buzzer. Haley Moshida from nearly an identical spot on the field. The Pride score 2 in the second half to stun St. Joseph's. Once again, just sliding right behind that back line and finishing it off with the header. The Cardiac Pride win that one 2-1. Well, folks, that was a lot of fun. The Pride Top 5 is back. What better way to ring in a new season of Hofstra Athletics? Sports Beat will be right back after this.
Dexter, this is Hofstra Sports Media. Come check out the Tony Cavallero control room. Let's go. We've got every position here for our Division I broadcast. We've got our AD, our producer, our director, our technical director, video, replay, graphics, audio, and on site, Raj.
Thanks, Kev. And now we're on site, and here's our setup. We have 6 cameras total, 3 up here. Our talent's ready for the call, and this is Hofstra Sports Media.
Folks, Hofstra Volleyball is off to their best start to a season since 2012, and some members of the team taught our very own Calvin Willie the basics that keep their game sharp. Let's take a look.
This is Calvin Willie, and today I am here with the Hofstra women's volleyball team to get to know a few of the players a little bit better, learn how to play the game from them, and then test those skills out with a little bit of a 2-on-2. Let's get into it. Now I'm here with Lauren Conzen, a junior volleyball player here at Hofstra. Lauren, again, thank you for the time today. And I guess my first question to you would be, what made you fall in love with volleyball? Do you have an early memory that you like to think about when you think about volleyball?
Actually, my first memory of volleyball was how I fell in love with it. I saw my sister and her friends playing, and she was on her travel team. I was around 7, 8 years old, and I jumped in with them, and one girl got up and went to spike the ball, thinking that she would get it. It hit me, I got it up, and that feeling just created something. I fell in love with the sport right away.
You know, you're an international student from Turkey, so what's it been like coming across the world to play the sport that you love?
It's been great actually. So far I really like the team environment and school and everything, the opportunities, everything is just going well so far. It's pretty different from where I'm coming from, but I think I adapted my 3rd year, so I'm junior.
Clara Ball from France, a senior. Clara, again, thank you for the time. And I guess my first question to you would be, again, similar to Noah, an international student. What made you pick Hofstra, choosing Hofstra on Long Island all the way across the world?
I feel like there's 2 things. First, I mean, it was not only about Long Island, was mainly about the program and like the coaches. I feel like the conversation was great, but also I can't deny that having the city and the beach so close is just the best thing possible.
You know, a couple of your teammates are international, but you're here from Long Island. What made you want to stay home, local around Long Island, and chose Hofstra?
So being a Long Islander, we all love Long Island. Nobody ever wants to leave Long Island. You have the beach, you have the city, you have everything. My family and my dogs, just can't leave my dogs, you know. And I love it here so much, it's beautiful.
And what was it about Hofstra that kind of drew you in this direction?
I think one of the biggest impact was definitely the location, because obviously New York is a great opportunity for everything, especially for my major also. My major is also television production, so it's pretty good for the community school, communication school. Mm-hmm. And volleyball opportunities, obviously the team and the coaching and stuff, and everyone is really, as I said, like really nice. So
cool.
I think that's a good opportunity here.
You're a senior, so you're an experienced player at this point in your collegiate career. What do you notice that's improved so far from last year, and what are your goals for the season?
I think the best thing we have right now, and I haven't had that feeling in a while, is that we really are as one unit. I feel like we play really together and we've created such good chemistry. And I have one goal for this year. It's definitely more than just winning the CAA. It's going further in the national championship. So
wow, that's a very ambitious goal. Well, now that I've had the chance to learn all these volleyball skills from these 3 Division I players, I'm gonna see if I can put them to the test in a little 2v2 match. So, are you guys ready? Woo! All right, let's do it.
Thank you to the volleyball team and Calvin for that inside look. We welcome back Luca and Piper one more time to name our Hofstra Athlete of the Month. What do you got, guys?
I'm going to keep the volleyball rolling, and I'm going to go with Isadora Stagely. The volleyball team right now is undefeated, and she leads the team in kills with 93. She leads the team in points. She is just killing it lately, so she's my Athlete of the Month for sure.
Volleyball has been real good, but you know who my Athlete of the Month has got to be? Let's go back to men's soccer. Laurie Goddard, 6 goals. He's tied for second most in the nation. He leads the CAA. He's coming off a CAA Co-Offensive Player of the Week. He leads the nation with 4 goals from the penalty spot as well. I mean, he's a guy who's filled spots of Owen Farrell, Teddy Baker, Jacob Woznicki, and those are guys who scored goals last year. They needed someone to step up, and Goddard's done just that. He's my Athlete of the Month.
Look, a 7-0 start is nothing to sneeze at, but I think Hofstra might have one of the best players in the nation on their hands in Laurie Goddard, so he is going to be our Athlete of the Month here on Sports Beat, folks. Well, that'll do it for our first show of the fall semester, and we've got plenty of thanks to go around. Obviously, Piper and Luca took you through the world of football, bought and sold the latest from the gridiron, and crowned our first Athlete of the Month. Bill D'Ambrosio gave you the latest in Major League Baseball, and Aidan Pagan did the same in Hofstra Athletics with the Pride Weekly Update. A special thanks to Hofstra men's soccer head coach Richard Nuttall for joining Olivia Hillstead for a live in-studio interview to discuss his final season with the Pride. And of course, thank you to the volleyball team for teaching our very own Calvin Willie the basics of the sport, and we wish them good luck the rest of the season. Folks, my name's Dylan Brett, and Sports Beat will return October 15th. Thank you for tuning in, and always remember to roar with pride.